Good evening, guys.
Recording in progress.
Good evening to all. All are getting my screen and voice. Please confirm in chat box. Guys, for timing, I'm going to mute all. Right at the end, I'll give the chance to talk, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can ask at the end of the session. So, all are getting my screen and voice, guys. Please confirm in chat box. Please give the confirmation in chat box. Yeah, good. Thanks for confirmation. Yes, today we are going to start new batch for DevOps with AWS. Right, our course name is DevOps with AWS. Right, who is the trainer for this batch? Myself, guys. So myself, Raju. Right, I'm having 10 plus years of working experience. Currently, I'm working as a senior technical specialist, guys. Senior technical specialist. Senior technical specialist. And along with this working experience, I have 7 plus years of training experience also. Guys, I'm not only working on DevOps with AWS in my current project, guys. In my current project, I'm working with Java, Spring Boot, microservices, DevOps, AWS, right? All these things, guys, and React also I'm using in my current project, React.js. All these things I'm using in my current project, guys. I'm the full stack developer. I'm working as a full stack developer. In my current project, right, all the DevOps activities and development activities, everything taken care by myself only. So that's why I can able to explain each and every tool with internals, guys. Right, most of the DevOps tools are developed by using Java programming language and Python programming language. I'm expert in both Java and Python, guys. I'm expert in both Java and Python. So I can able to explain all the tools with internals, not high level, guys. Not theoretically, not high level, with internals. How internally these tools are going to work. Right, all those things I can able to explain very confidently with real-time scenarios. See, guys, this is a brief about myself, guys. Myself, Raju. I'm having 10 plus years of working experience. Currently, I'm working as a senior technical specialist. As a trainer, I have 7 years of experience, guys. Right, in my current project, I'm using all these technologies: Java, Spring Boot, microservices, DevOps, AWS, and React.js I'm using, guys. Right, I'm the full stack developer. I'm working as a full stack developer, so I can able to explain all the DevOps tools, right, with internals. How the tools are working internally. With internals, I can able to explain in detail, guys. Right, guys? Fine. So to attend for this course, what are the prerequisites? If you guys want to attend for this DevOps with AWS course, what are the prerequisites? What are the prerequisites to attend for this course, guys? Right, nothing is required, guys. Nothing is required. Right. So if you guys have just a basic knowledge on Linux, that is more than enough. Even if you guys don't have the knowledge on Linux also, no problem. In our sessions, first we are going to start with the Linux only. Right. Good to have Linux, guys. Right. Good to have Linux basics. Even if you guys don't have knowledge on Linux also, no problem. We are going to start with Linux only. right? Linux and shell scripting. Linux and shell scripting, I'm going to spend, right, around 10 hours I'm going to spend on this Linux with shell scripting, guys. Right, more than 10 hours I'm going to spend on Linux with shell scripting only. You guys will get complete knowledge on Linux. Okay, fine, guys. So prerequisites to attend for this course, nothing is required. If you have the basic knowledge on Linux, that is very, very good. Even if you guys don't have the knowledge on Linux also, no problem, I will take care. Okay, guys, up to here, any questions? Fine, guys. So let me talk about the course content first. Course content. What I am going to discuss in our course content. What I am going to discuss in our course content. Guys, nowadays moonlight is going on the companies. If I reveal my company at here, right, if anyone who is working with me in my company, right, if they know, right, so again it is problem to me. That's why I'm not revealing my company at here. Okay, I'm working with MNC company only. I'm working with MNC company only. Top MNC company only I'm working. Okay, fine, guys. See, guys, course content, guys. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, course content. Here, entire course I'm going to divide into 7 parts, guys. Entire course I'm going to divide into 7 parts. As a part 1, I'm going to discuss introduction of the DevOps. Introduction of DevOps I'm going to discuss as part 1. Right, in part 1 I'm going to discuss just introduction of the DevOps. Introduction means what I'm going to discuss: what is DevOps, why DevOps, right, what is software development life cycle, what methodologies are available in software development life cycle, right, what is waterfall methodology, what is agile methodology, what is the difference between waterfall and agile methodology, right, what is the sprint, right, in the companies, what terminology we need to use when we are working with agile methodology. All those things we are going to discuss in introduction. Right, part 1 we are going to discuss introduction of the DevOps. And here we are going to talk about what is DevOps, why this DevOps came into the picture. As a DevOps engineers, what is the activities we need to do in the companies, what is the software development life cycle, what methodologies are available in software development life cycle, right, what is waterfall methodology, what is agile methodology, what is the difference between those two, right, what is the sprint, what is the scrum, what terminology we need to use in the company when we are working with agile methodology. All those things we are going to discuss in part 1. So once this part 1 is completed, next I am going to start part 2. Part 2. As part 2, I am going to discuss Linux, guys. As part 2, I am going to start Linux and shell scripting. Linux, right, with the shell scripting I am going to discuss. Yes, please mute. If you guys have any questions, you can ask at the end. See, guys, part 1 introduction we are discussing. Part 2 we are going to discuss Linux with shell scripting. Linux with shell scripting, around 10 days we are going to spend, 10 hours. 10 hours minimum we are going to spend on this Linux only. Okay, why? Because why I am starting Linux, guys, why I am discussing this Linux at the beginning only. If you want to work with AWS, if you want to work with the DevOps, this Linux is very, very, very important, guys. Linux is mandatory to work with DevOps and AWS. That's why first I am going to discuss Linux only. Once this Linux completed, then I will jump into AWS, guys. Once this Linux is completed, right, I will talk about AWS next. Right, in part 3 we are going to discuss AWS. In part 3 we are going to discuss AWS, guys. Right, how many services we are going to discuss in AWS? Total how many services we are going to discuss in AWS, guys? Around 20 plus services we are going to discuss in AWS. Right, AWS. Around 20 plus services we are going to discuss it here, guys. Right. In other institutes, if you attend for this DevOps with AWS, just they will discuss 5 to 6 services, guys. They won't discuss these many number of services. Just whatever the important services are there, only those 5-6 services only they will discuss, guys. Even if you join only for AWS course, not DevOps with AWS, even if you join only for AWS course also, they won't discuss 20 plus services, guys. Just they will discuss 12 to 15 services. But here in this course, we are going to discuss 20 plus AWS services. Right? Once you have completed, once you guys are completed this DevOps with AWS, you guys can do the certification also in AWS with this 20 plus services. Right? So each and every service, practically I'm going to show it here. Not only theoretically, guys. Practically I'm going to show each and every service at here. Okay, as a part 3, we are going to discuss AWS first. Right? Why I am not starting DevOps first? Why I am starting AWS? To work with the DevOps. Sorry guys. Here, if we are creating the project, guys, we need to deploy that project into the servers, where we will create that infrastructure. Right, that server setup, that missions, right, all the infrastructures where we will create that infrastructure in AWS only. We are not going to create the infrastructure in our Windows mission. In AWS cloud, I am going to create the infrastructure. I am going to create the Linux missions. So that's why first I am going to discuss AWS. Before DevOps, I am going to discuss AWS, guys. Once this AWS is completed, as part 4, we are going to discuss DevOps. Right? How many tools we are going to learn in DevOps, guys? Right? 15 plus tools. 15 plus tools we are going to learn in this DevOps, guys. Guys, try to understand. Part 1, we are going to discuss just introduction of the DevOps. Right? Part 2, we are going to discuss Linux with shell scripting. Part 3, we are going to discuss AWS services. Part 4, we are going to discuss DevOps tools. 20 plus AWS services we are discussing, 15 plus DevOps tools also we are going to discuss it here. Right? Fine. So part 5, what we are going to discuss? As part 5, we are going to discuss real-time project. Part 5, we are going to discuss real-time project, guys. Real-time projects. See, guys, in my company, how I am setting up this AWS and DevOps, everything I will show it here, guys. In my current project, how I am setting this DevOps with AWS, and everything I am going to show in this project. We will take some Java projects or Python projects we will take, and how to set up DevOps AWS for those projects I am going to show it here. End to end, guys. Right? Once you guys are attend for this real-time project, right? Right? You guys can behave like 3 to 4 years of experienced candidates in the company. So that much real-time knowledge you guys are going to get it here. You guys definitely, you guys will feel like you guys have 3 plus 4 plus years of experience on DevOps with AWS. Okay, that much confidence you guys are going to get it here, guys. Right? And you guys can put this project in your resume also. At the time of attending the interviews, you guys can put this project, whatever we are going to discuss here, this project you guys can put in your resume also. Same thing, whatever we have done the setup, same thing you guys can explain in the interview also. Okay. Once a real-time project is completed, next we are going to discuss here as part 6. As part 6, right, we are going to discuss Python scripting also. Python scripting. Right? Why Python scripting is required? Is it mandatory? Without having Python scripting, we won't get the job as a DevOps engineer. Not like that. Not like that, guys. Without having Python scripting also, you guys will get the job. But some of the companies are asking, guys. Some of the companies are asking. If you put Python scripting in your resume, you guys will get more weightage. Your resume will get more weightage, guys. That's why we are discussing Python scripting also. What we will do with this Python scripting? We are the DevOps engineers. What we will do with this Python scripting? See, guys, some of the activities we can't able to perform with the DevOps tools, guys. Some of the activities we can't able to perform with the DevOps tools, right? Those kind of activities we are going to perform by writing some small script, guys. By writing some small Python script, we are going to perform those activities which are not able to do with the DevOps tools, guys. Suppose guys, in Docker, I have 100 containers are available. Right, in that 100 containers, some of the Tomcat containers are available, some of the HTTPD containers are available like that. Right, if you want to delete any particular container, we have the Docker command. If you want to delete all the 100 containers, we have the command. But if you want to delete only Tomcat containers, assume I have 20 Tomcat containers in out of 100 containers. I want to delete only those 20 Tomcat containers. We don't have any specific command. I want to delete only 20 HTTPD containers, right? We don't have any command for that. So in that case, we can write small 4 to 5 lines of the Python scripting to delete all Tomcat containers. Okay, tomorrow we will create the jobs in the Jenkins. We will create the jobs in the Jenkins. If you want to delete those jobs, how we will delete? We will go to the Jenkins dashboard and we will delete one by one. Right? We don't have any specific command to delete all the jobs at a time. Right? In that case, we can write small Python script to delete all the jobs at a time. Okay, such kind of things we can perform by using Python scripting, guys. Right? I'm going to spend at least 10 hours. Guys, I can able to teach Python also. Python, Django framework. Right, REST API, those concepts, all those things I can able to handle. But here I am not going to discuss complete Python. Right, how much is required for our DevOps? Up to that level I am going to discuss, guys. Right, if I want to discuss complete Python, it will take 2 months only on this Python scripting. Right, so that's why how much is required for DevOps people, up to that level I am going to discuss it here. One minute, Abhinay, I will come to there. First, let me complete these things. Okay. I will come to there. How many per day, how many hours session, right? So everything I will explain. First, let me complete this part. Right, guys. Part 1, introduction. Part 2, Linux with shell scripting. Part 3, AWS services. Part 4, DevOps tools. Part 5, real-time projects. Part 6, Python scripting. Then what is part 7? See, guys, in my company, I will take the interviews, guys. For DevOps people, I will take the interviews in my company. So HRs daily will forward, right, minimum 2 to 3 resumes at least they will forward to me daily. Right, in my laptop, I have so many DevOps resumes, guys. 3 plus, 4 plus, 5 plus, 6 plus, 10 years, 12 years. So many resumes are available. You guys want, I can share all those resumes with you. But there is no use, right? So you guys are learning more than that what we have in those resumes, guys, right? Those resumes are coming from other people. What they have mentioned in those resumes, right? You guys are learning more than that. 100% you guys are learning more than that, guys. Here, whatever the 20 plus AWS services we are learning, whatever the 15 plus DevOps tools we are learning, right here, we are getting complete knowledge on the project setup and we are learning Python scripting. We are learning Linux and shell scripting. All these things properly we need to cover in our resume. All these things properly we need to mention. Right? If the 20 plus services, what you did in the company. Right, here we won't use all 20 plus services in our project, guys. Right, how much based on project requirement, some of the services only we will use. What are the services you used? Right, suppose I have Route 53. What that Route 53 will do in your project with that Route 53, what you did? We have EC2. With that EC2, what you did in your project, right? RDS is available. With RDS, what you did? DynamoDB is available. With the DynamoDB, what you did, right? We need to CloudFormation is available. With the CloudFormation, what you did? So we need to explain in the resume properly. We need to tell properly in resume, guys. Right? So just changing the email ID, changing the phone number, that is not sufficient, guys. Right, taking the resumes from other people and just change the name and mobile number, mail ID, that is not correct. Right, we need to explain properly what we know, what we learned in the resume. So that's why I'm going to take 2 2 hours session, minimum 2 to 3 hours session on the resume preparation. I will show. In that resume, I will show whatever we learned it here, how to cover all those points in the resume. I'm going to explain it here. Understood, guys? Here, right, we can take like some of the interview guide, whatever the frequently asking interview questions are there, right? That interview guide and resume preparation. Resume preparation, I'm going to discuss as part 7. See, guys, just have a look into this course content once. Right, entire course I have divided into 7 parts. Just have a look into this, guys. I think some people are joined late. See, guys, this is brief introduction about myself. Right, I'm having 10 plus years of working experience. Currently, I'm working as a senior technical specialist. As a trainer, I have 7 plus years of experience. In my current company, in my current project, I'm using these things, guys. I'm the full stack developer, guys. I'm the Java full stack developer. I'm using Java, Spring Boot, microservices, DevOps, AWS, React.js, and Angular also I know. Angular also I know, but I'm not using in current project Angular, guys. Angular also I can work. Right, guys? Right, in DevOps, most of the tools are developed. See, guys, here I can able to teach Java. I can able to cover Java batches, and I can able to cover Python batches, and I can able to cover DevOps with AWS batches also. Right, all these things I can able to teach, guys. I'm handling all these batches. Okay, see here in DevOps, most of the tools are developed by using Java and Python only. Right, some of the tools are developed by Java, some of the tools are developed by using Python, right? Some of the tools are developed by using Go language like that. See, that's why, right, all the DevOps tools I can able to explain with internals. With internals, I know Java very well. I know Python very well. That's why I can able to discuss all the DevOps tools with internals, right, very, very confidently. Right, with the real-time scenarios, I can able to explain all the tools, guys. Right, next, to attend for this course, what are the prerequisites? Nothing is required, guys. Right, if you have the basic knowledge on the Linux, that is very, very good, guys. Even if you guys don't have the knowledge on Linux also, no problem. Here I am going to discuss Linux. I'm going to discuss Linux, guys. So if you guys have the knowledge, that is very good. Even if you guys don't have also, no problem. I'm going to discuss Linux from beginning. Okay. See, guys, the course content I have divided into 7 parts. First, introduction I'm going to discuss. In this introduction, I'm going to discuss these things, guys. As introduction, what I'm going to discuss. Right, as introduction, what I'm going to discuss it here. First, I will talk about what is the DevOps. What is the DevOps I will discuss. Right, why DevOps is discussed. See, guys, all these things I'm going to cover it here. As introduction, what is DevOps? What is the DevOps? Why DevOps? Why DevOps? Right, what is software development lifecycle, SDLC? Methodologies in SDLC. Methodologies in SDLC. What is waterfall methodology? Right, what is agile methodology? Difference between waterfall and agile. Right, all these things we are going to discuss as part 1, guys. All these things we are going to discuss as part 1. Right, guys. In part 2, what I am going to discuss, guys? In part 2, what I am going to discuss? What is operating system? What is operating system? What is Windows operating system? Generally, and for our regular usage, we will use Windows operating system, right? That's why I will talk about what is Windows operating system. Right, next here, what is Linux operating system? Linux operating system. and we will discuss Linux commands. Right, Linux commands we will discuss. Right, here finally we will discuss shell scripting also. Shell scripting. Right, all these things we will discuss in part 2. All these things we are going to discuss in part 2, guys. Okay, so once part 2 is completed, right, we will discuss part 3. Right, in part 3 what we are going to discuss? AWS, guys. Right, AWS we are going to discuss AWS cloud. AWS cloud we are going to discuss. AWS cloud. Right, what we are going to discuss in our AWS cloud? First, guys, I want to explain what is this cloud computing. Why we need to go for this cloud. Right, what is the advantages if you go with this cloud computing? All those things we need to discuss first. Right, what is cloud computing? What is cloud computing? What is cloud computing? Right, advantages of cloud computing. Advantages of cloud computing. Advantages of cloud computing. Right, here, right, we have 3 things, guys. All the cloud providers will provide 3 things. What they are providing? IaaS versus PaaS versus SaaS. Right, IaaS stands for what? Infrastructure as a service. Cloud providers are providing the infrastructure. PaaS stands for platform as a service. Cloud providers are providing the platform as a service. Right, SaaS, cloud providers are providing software as service also. Right, we are going to discuss all these things. If you go with IaaS, what you will get from the cloud provider and what you want to take care of it here. If you go with PaaS, what you will get from the cloud provider, what you need to take care it here. If you go with SaaS, what you will get from the cloud provider and what you want to take care it here. All those things we are going to discuss it here. IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. Infrastructure as service, platform as service, software as service. Right. So once these 3 things are completed, so next just I will talk introduction of the AWS. AWS is one of the cloud provider, guys. AWS is one of the cloud provider. Right. So here we are going to discuss introduction of AWS, Amazon Web Services. Here we are going to discuss introduction of AWS. Right, guys. Right. So after this, we are going to discuss account creation. Right. We should have, if you want to work with the AWS, we should have the account in AWS, guys. If you guys want to work with the AWS, everyone should have the account in AWS. How to create the account in AWS? How to create the account in AWS? How to create the account in AWS we are going to discuss. Right. So next, once you created the account in AWS, right here just right, whatever the services we are going to discuss in AWS cloud, here just I have mentioned total 20 plus services we are going to discuss. Here before going to start the services, I will give the overview of all the services. First beginning only, I will give the overview of all the 20 plus services, guys. Before discussing the internals, right, I will give the brief overview of all the services. Overview of, right, all AWS services. Overview of AWS services, which we are going to discuss it here, guys. See, guys, right, at the beginning, what we are going to discuss in AWS cloud, right? What is cloud computing? Why we need to go for this cloud computing? If you set up the infrastructure in your company itself, what is the problem? If you go with cloud computing, what is the advantages? What is infrastructure as a service? What is platform as a service? What is software as a service? If you go with infrastructure as a service, what cloud providers are giving to you? What you need to take care at here? If you go with platform as a service, what cloud providers are giving to you? What you need to take it here? And if you go with SaaS, what they are providing, what you need to take care here? All those things we are going to discuss. Right. Next, we will talk about introduction of AWS. Right. When AWS came into the picture, right? Why AWS became this much popularity? Right. So what services are available in AWS? Right. All that introduction we are going to discuss it here. Next, I am going to show you how to create the account in AWS. If you want to work with the AWS, everyone should have the account in AWS. How to create that account, I am going to discuss it here. Next, here we are going to discuss 20 plus AWS services. Before starting these 20 plus services, I am going to give the brief overview of those services. Okay. Next guys, as a first service we are going to start. Okay, before that, right, we need to discuss regions also guys. Regions also we need to discuss it here. What regions are available? Regions and availability zones. Availability zones in AWS. What regions are available in AWS, what availability zones are available under those regions, everything we are going to discuss. Okay, next, the first important service is EC2. EC2 we are going to discuss as the first service. Right? If you want to create the virtual machines, in AWS cloud, right, we are going to use this EC2 service. What is the use of this EC2 service guys? By using this EC2 service, we can create the virtual machines. EC2 stands for what? Elastic Compute Cloud. See guys, EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, not cloud computing. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Once this EC2 is completed, we will talk about AMI. AMI stands for what? Amazon Mission Image. With this, guys, if you want to create the virtual machine, first you should have the one image, guys. Inside this image, you will get operating system and some of the softwares. Right, by using this image, if you create the EC2 instance, right, in this image, whatever the softwares are already available, all those things you will get in that newly creating VM also. Newly creating virtual machine also, you will get all the softwares, whatever we have in these images. Understood, guys? Create the virtual machine, we need to choose the image, guys. We need to choose the image first. Right, how to create the custom image, right? Which images AWS is providing, what outside people are created the images, all those things we are going to discuss it here. Images are three types, guys. One is AWS providing images. Second one is our own images. We can create our own custom images also. Right, custom images. Third one is right, community images, means like us, outside people also created some images. They also uploaded those images at here. We can use those images also. Here we are going to discuss all those things, guys. Okay, so next AMI is completed. Next we are going to talk about here. After AMIs, we are going to talk about EBS. And EBS stands for Elastic Block Store. Right, what is this Elastic Block Store? This is volume, guys. It is kind of storage. EBS is nothing but storage, guys. Elastic Block Store, volume. Whenever we are creating the virtual machines, right, we will get some root volumes. Guys. Inside those root volumes only, we are going to get the operating systems also. See guys, whenever here by using EC2, we are creating the virtual machines. Whenever you have created those virtual machines, along with that virtual machines, we are going to get some default root volumes. Inside the default root volumes, we will get the operating system also. But we have one problem with that root volume. What is the problem? If you terminate this EC2 instance, if you terminate the virtual machine, automatically that root volume also will be terminated. Whatever the data you stored inside that root volume, you won't get the data back. You will lose that data also. That's why, right, instead of using that root volume for storing our personal data, we need to create some additional volumes by using EBS. By using EBS, we are going to create additional volumes, and we will attach those additional volumes with the virtual machines, whatever we created at here. We can attach and we can detach. Right? Whenever you terminated this virtual machine, that additional volumes won't be terminated, guys. That is the kind of pen drives, hard disk, right? Those things, guys, those things. How to create the additional volumes, how to attach the additional volumes with the EC2 instances, how to detach, all those things we are going to discuss in EBS. Elastic Block Store. EBS stands for what? Elastic Block Store. Right? Once this EBS is completed, we will talk about load balancing. Very, 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 very important things. Load balancing. Right? I want to balance the traffic. I want to balance the load. I want to distribute the load to multiple servers. In the real time, we will deploy our applications in multiple servers, not in single server. Suppose if you take Facebook application, that is the worldwide application. YouTube, Facebook, these are the worldwide applications. So millions of requests will come for those applications. If you deploy those applications in single server, what it will happen? Right? Because of the heavy load, that server will get crash also sometime. And to process the request, that server will take more time also. Right? Millions of requests are coming to single server. What it will happen? That servers will get crash also. Guys, if I give 10 kg weight, 20 kg weight to you, you can able to carry. But if I give 500 kg weight, can you able to carry? No, you can't. You can't, guys. Same way, right? If you send 100 requests, 1000 requests, server can able to handle. But per minute you are sending lakhs of requests, so server can't able to handle. Server will take more time to process. Sometimes server may get crashed also. That's why we need to deploy our application in multiple servers. In real time, if you take any application, we need to deploy in multiple servers. Okay, you deploy the application in multiple servers. How to distribute the load to multiple servers? Right here, we deployed the application in 10 servers. Whatever the load is coming, whatever the requests are coming, I want to distribute those requests to all 10 servers. How we can able to do that? For that, we are going to use load balancing. Okay, next we will talk about auto scaling. Auto scaling. Auto scaling means what? Here I have taken only 10 servers. Right, I have taken only 10 servers. Right, regular guys, regularly, right, I will get per hour 1 lakh requests I will get. Right, to handle 1 lakh requests per hour, 10 servers are sufficient for me. Right, so today I am going to introduce one new offer. Because of that offer, per hour I am getting 30 lakhs requests. 30 lakhs requests, but here I have only 10 servers. My 10 servers are not sufficient to handle 30 lakhs requests per hour. Right? I want more servers. I want 20 more servers are required. Okay, you purchased those 20 more servers and you configured. Okay, right. So suddenly at the end of the day, right, and at the end of the day, again you are getting normal traffic only. 10 lakhs only you are getting per hour. Right? What you will do that with the newly purchased machines? 20 machines you purchased, right? What you will do with those machines? Money waste, time waste, everything waste, guys. So in that case, what we need to do? AWS is providing one service which is auto scaling. Right? Based on the traffic, automatically it will increase the number of servers. Based on the traffic, automatically it will decrease the number of servers. We no need to do manually anything. Auto scaling will take care of that. Increasing the servers, decreasing the servers based on the traffic. Okay, how to do that one? We are going to discuss it here, guys. Auto scaling. Once this auto scaling is completed, we are going to discuss Route 53 or S3 bucket or Route 53. Okay, right, Route 53. Right, what we can do with this? What we can do with this, guys? Right, if you want to create some beautiful URLs, guys, right, I want to map domain names with DNS URLs, guys. DNS URLs. For that, we need to use Route 53, guys. See, guys, if I have right, big URL like this, I have big URL, guys. If I give this URL, can you able to understand this? Can you able to remember this URL? You can't able to remember. You can't able to remember, guys. Right? For that, what I need to do, I need to beautify this URL. How you will beautify this URL? Right? You need to purchase one domain name. Suppose if you take facebook.com, www.facebook.com is available. Suppose assume this is my load balancer DNS URL. Right? Facebook application have one load balancer, right? That load balancer also one URL. That load balancer also have one URL, guys. Assume this is the load balancer URL. Right, but people can't able to remember this load balancer URL. Then what I will do, I will purchase one domain name, right? www.facebook.com. Facebook.com. This is my domain name. I will map this domain name with the DNS URL. Load balancer DNS URL. I will map this facebook.com and I will give this URL to the customers. Customers will send the request to this facebook.com. Facebook.com will route those requests to this DNS URL internally. How to map these two things? How Facebook will route those requests to this DNS URL? All those things we are going to discuss in Route 53. Understood, guys? Okay, fine. After this Route 53, we are going to discuss about S3 bucket. S3 bucket. Simple storage, guys. S3 bucket, we are going to discuss it here. What we are going to discuss? S3 bucket. This is unlimited storage device, guys. This is unlimited. You can store huge data inside this. Okay, what is this S3 bucket? How to create the bucket? How to store the objects inside the bucket? What is the type of the objects? Right, everything. How to host the static application inside the S3 bucket? Everything we will discuss it here, guys. Everything we will discuss it here. Right. So just remember, we will discuss all these things, guys. Route 53 we will use just for domain name and DNS URL mapping purpose, guys. We will use Route 53 for mapping purpose. Right. See here, load balancer I am using to distribute the load. Load balancer have one URL, DNS URL, but people can't able to remember the DNS URLs, guys. DNS URLs are too lengthy, guys. Right, what we need to do, we need to beautify that load balancer DNS URL. For that, I am going to purchase one domain name and I am going to map that domain name with the load balancer DNS URL, and I will give this domain name URL to the customers. Customers will send the request to that domain name. The domain name will route those requests to load balancer DNS URL. We will discuss. We will practically see all these things, guys. Just whatever I am going to discuss in AWS, I am mentioning it here. That's it. Practically, we will discuss each and every service. Each and every service we will discuss practically. Okay. Once S3 bucket is completed, next we will discuss about RDS. RDS, relational database. RDS is what? Relational database. How to create the relational database, how to work with the relational database, we are going to discuss it here. RDS stands for relational database. Next we will talk about DynamoDB. DynamoDB. Right here, RDS is the relational database. DynamoDB is the NoSQL database. DynamoDB is the NoSQL database. RDS is the structural database. DynamoDB is the NoSQL DB. Both the things we are going to discuss it. Both we are going to discuss it here. When we will go for RDS, when we will go for DynamoDB, all those things we will discuss it here. Okay. So next we will talk about VPC. VPC in our entire AWS services. Here we are going to discuss 20 plus services, right? Out of these 20 plus services, VPC is too lengthy, guys. Too lengthy and very, very important also. Right? Virtual private cloud. I want my own network. Right? I want one personal network. How to create that virtual private cloud environment? How to create virtual private cloud environment? We are going to discuss it here. This is very, very, very important and too lengthy also in our total service, all the service out of all the services. Okay. So next here we are going to discuss CloudWatch. Right? We will use this CloudWatch for monitoring purpose, guys. CloudWatch. I want to monitor, guys. Right, how the application running, how the application is running, everything I want to monitor, guys. For monitoring purpose, we are going to use CloudWatch. Right, next we will talk about CloudFormation. cloud formation. What is this cloud formation? What is this cloud formation, guys? To create the infrastructures, we will use this cloud formation. I want to create virtual machines. I want to create the Jenkins server. I want to create a Tomcat server. I want to create a Sonar server. I want to create a Docker. Right. To create that infrastructure, we will use cloud formation. Infrastructure we can create in two ways. By using GUI we can create, and by using code also we can create. Right. If you want to create the infrastructure by using code, then we can go with this cloud formation. Right. IAC, infrastructure as code. IAC stands for infrastructure as code. In interview they will ask how you will create the infrastructure as code. By using cloud formation we can create the infrastructure as code. Right. In DevOps we will discuss Terraform also. Terraform also we will use for same purpose. In interview they will ask what is the difference between cloud formation and Terraform. Right. Cloud formation is the right. Cloud formation will provide support only for AWS. Only for AWS, guys. Cloud formation is provided by AWS, guys. So we can use only in AWS. But coming to Terraform, for any cloud provider, right? For any cloud provider, we can use a Terraform. AWS, GCP, Azure, for any cloud provider, we can use that Terraform, guys. We will discuss both. Terraform we will discuss, and cloud formation also we will discuss. Okay. Right. After this cloud formation, next what we will discuss, guys? Here we will discuss some of the queue services are available. Right. SQS, some of the queue services. Right. SQS stands for queue services. We will discuss, guys. We will discuss all these things. Queue services. Right. Next we will talk about right, SNS. SNS. Right. What is this SNS, guys? Notification services. Notification services. I want to send some notifications. Right, based on my operations, I want to send some notifications. How to send the notifications by using SNS? All these things we will discuss. Right, next here we are going to talk about right, SES, email services. I want to send the emails. By using SES, I want to send the emails. How to send the emails? We are going to discuss it. Email services. Email services. Email services we are going to discuss. Email services. Right. So next we will talk about ECS. ECS we will discuss. Right. Elastic Container Services. Elastic Container Services. Elastic Container Services. And here we will discuss lambdas, guys. Very important for interviews. Lambda functions. Lambdas we are going to discuss it here. Right. And here we will talk about what we missed. Anything? It is here my EBS load balancing, auto scaling, route 53, S3, DNS, the RDS, Dynamo, VPC, CloudWatch, Cloud Formation, SQS, SNS, SES, ECS, lambdas, right? Lambdas and light sail. Light sail, and I will explain billing related things also, how they will charge the billing related things. Right, billing related things also we are going to discuss it here. Okay, guys. Right, if anything I missed, I will add it, guys. So these are the minimum things we are going to discuss in our AWS cloud, guys. These are the minimum things. See, guys, what is cloud computing? Advantages of the cloud computing, differences between infrastructure, platform, and software as services, right? Introduction of the AWS, how to create the account in the AWS, right? AWS services overview, right? What are the regions and availability zones are available in AWS, right? EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud, AMI, Amazon Mission Images, EBS, Elastic Block Store, load balancing, auto scaling, Route 53, S3 bucket, RDS, relational database, right? DynamoDB, VPC, CloudWatch, Cloud Formation, SQS, SNS, SES, ECS, Lambdas, Lightsail, and billing related information. Right? All these things we are going to discuss in our AWS cloud. If I miss anything, if I feel important and I forget to mention it here, I will add those things also. These are the minimum things which we are going to discuss, guys. Okay, fine. So once this AWS part is completed, next we will go to this DevOps. We will go to this DevOps, guys. Right, what tools we are going to discuss in our DevOps? What tools we are going to discuss in DevOps, guys? Here I mentioned, right, 15 plus tools I am going to discuss in DevOps, guys. 15 plus tools I am going to discuss in DevOps. What 15 plus tools I am going to discuss in DevOps, guys? What 15 plus tools I am going to discuss DevOps? Right, this. Right. First here, I will discuss introduction and what tools we are going to cover, what 15 tools we are going to cover. So that basic overview I will give it here. Introduction of DevOps tools, what we are going to discuss. Right. So next here, right, what, right, by using, right, which tool we will use, which purpose. So which tool we will use for which purpose. Right, the job of DevOps engineer, this one also I'm going to discuss it here. Right, are roles and responsibilities. Roles and responsibilities of DevOps engineer. Roles and responsibilities of DevOps engineers in the company, that I am going to discuss it here. Right, so next here I will talk about Maven. Maven is a build tool. By using Maven, what we will do, right? So next we will talk about GitHub. GitHub is a remote repository. Developers will store the code into the remote repositories. As a DevOps engineers, we need to take the code from this remote repository. We need to build that code by using Maven. We need to package that code by using Maven, and we need to deploy that file into that application into the servers. Right, guys, here developers are going to upload the code into the GitHub, guys. Right, here what we need to do, right, we need to take the code from the GitHub repository, and we need to build that code by using Maven. We need to package that code by using Maven, and we need to deploy that application into the server by using Jenkins. Maven we will discuss, right, GitHub we will discuss, next we will discuss Jenkins. Jenkins we will discuss it here. Right, so next we will talk about Jenkins. By using Jenkins, how to create the CI/CD pipeline, how to deploy the applications by using Jenkins into the servers. Everything we are going to discuss it here. Right, next we will talk about SonarQube. SonarQube we are going to discuss. What is the purpose of SonarQube? Right, we need to check the code quality, how developers are implemented the code, they are following the coding standards or not, they have written the unit test cases or not. Everything we need to check before deploying the application into the servers. We need to check all those things. If SonarQube is generated success, right, if everything is passed in that SonarQube, then only we can deploy the application into the server. If SonarQube is failed, then we need to generate the report. That report we need to give that to the developers again. They will work on that, guys. We are not responsible to fix the issues, guys. Whatever the issues, whatever the report SonarQube is generating, just we need to hand over that report to the developers. Developers will work on that reports, guys. Developers will work on those issues. We are not, as a DevOps engineers, we are not going to work on those issues. Right. So next here we are going to discuss Ansible. Ansible we are going to discuss. What is this Ansible? Ansible is a configuration management tool. Configuration management tool. Ansible is a configuration management tool. By using this Ansible, we are configuring the softwares in, right, multiple machines. Right, by using Ansible, we are connecting with the machines remotely, and we are doing the configurations. We are installing the softwares in the machines by using Ansible. Earlier, people used to work with Chef, Puppet, guys. Chef, Puppet people use it to work. Right? Those two things are outdated almost. Nowadays, people are working with Ansible only. Right? Chef, Puppet, Ansible, all these things are the same category. Okay. Right. Once Ansible is completed, next we will talk about Terraform. Terraform we will discuss. Terraform is what? IAC. By using this Terraform, we are going to create the infrastructure. Already I told, infrastructure we can create in two ways. Either by using GUI we can create, or by writing some code also we can create. But nowadays, companies are using this Terraform only to create the infrastructure. Most of the companies, guys, some of our old students, only in the companies, only they are working on the Terraform. They are not using all these things. Their job is just creating the infrastructure by using Terraform. Right? Some of the people are working in Capgemini. Some of the people are working in Cognient, guys. What they are doing? They are not doing all these things. Just they are creating the infrastructure by using Terraform. That's it, guys. Some of the companies, some of the companies are asking, right, Terraform also, guys. That's why here we are going to discuss Terraform. How to create the infrastructure by using Terraform we are going to discuss. Right. So once this Terraform is completed, right, the very important tool Docker we are going to discuss. Docker, guys. Right. Why we will use this Docker, guys? If you want to maintain the application in multiple servers. Right. So in that case, we will go for Docker, guys. Here, what is the Docker? How to create the Docker images? From the how to create the Docker files? What is a Docker hub? How to create the Docker containers? All those things we are going to discuss at here. Docker files, Docker images, Docker hub, Docker containers, everything we are going to discuss at here. Right. Next, we will talk about Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm we are going to discuss. Docker Swarm, guys. Right, Docker Swarm we are going to discuss it here. Right here, by using Docker, we are creating the containers. Now, I want to manage those containers. To manage the containers, we need one orchestration tool. Docker is a containerization tool. Right, to manage the containers, what we are creating by using Docker, we need one orchestration tool. For that, we are going to discuss Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm is a orchestration tool. By using this, we are going to manage the containers which we are creating by using Docker. Right. So next, guys, very important tool. If you guys not have complete idea on this tool, don't attend for the interviews also. Without questions, there is no interview, guys. Without questions on this tool, there is no interviews. That much very important tool, and very difficult tool also. Right, outside, most of the institutes are spending only 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 classes on this tool, guys. Right, why? Because they also don't know much about this. That's why they are not spending much on this, guys. Right, but here, right, around 10 days we are going to spend on this tool only. More than 10 days we are going to spend on this tool only, which is Kubernetes. Very important, guys. Very important. Kubernetes. Kubernetes is very important. Kubernetes also one of the orchestration tool only. By using Kubernetes also, we are going to manage the containers. Kubernetes, don't feel Kubernetes is the replacement of the Docker, guys. Kubernetes is the replacement of the Docker Swarm, not Docker. By using Docker, we are creating the containers. To manage those containers, we need some orchestration tool. And here, these two are the orchestration tool. Anything you can use to manage the containers. But companies are using, 90% of the companies are using Kubernetes only to manage the containers. Kubernetes they are using as orchestration tool. This is very important and a little bit difficult also compare with other tools. In our entire course, Kubernetes is very difficult tool, guys. Right, no problem. I'm at here. Right, I will give in detail knowledge about this Kubernetes. Okay, no worries. See, guys, after Docker Swarm, we will talk about the Kubernetes. After Kubernetes, we are going to discuss ELK. Right, ELK here we are going to discuss ELK. Right here in this ELK, I'm going to talk Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch, I will talk. Right, Logstash, I will discuss. Right, next here, and Kibana. and Kibana. Right, all these things we are going to discuss it here. Right here, next I will talk about, right, Grafana. Next I will talk about Prometheus. Right? So like this, guys, Prometheus, right? So these are the small things only, guys. It won't take much time, these three things, guys. Right? We will use these things for monitoring purpose, guys. How my application is running, how my containers are running, right? All these things just for monitoring purpose we will use, guys. We no need to worry about these things. It won't take much time also. Right? Within 3 to 4 sessions, we can complete all these three things, guys. Right, guys? All these tools we are going to discuss in DevOps, guys. Right, among all these tools, the most important tools are Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. Only these three tools will take 1 month of the time, guys. Complete Jenkins, Docker and Kubernetes 1 month is required. So that much in detail I am going to cover, guys. Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. These three are the very important tools in our DevOps. You guys have a look into this. What we are going to discuss in DevOps. First, I'm going to give the brief overview of all the tools which we are going to discuss. Next, I'm going to discuss roles and responsibilities of the DevOps engineers. Next, Maven, GitHub, Jenkins, SonarQube, Ansible, Terraform, Docker, Docker Swarm, Kubernetes, ELK, Grafana, Prometheus, Nexus, Tomcat, all these things. Nexus is a repository, guys. Here, by using Maven, we are going to create a packages. Right? We need to store those packages in one repository. We are going to use Nexus repository to store the packages. To store the packages, we are going to use Nexus repository. Right? Tomcat web server, guys. Tomcat is the web server which we are going to discuss. How to deploy the applications into the web server. How to install the web server in the virtual machines. Right? All those things we are going to discuss, guys. All these things I am going to cover, guys. Once again, I am telling, right, I have very good experience on all these things, right, with the internals in detail, practical scenarios I am going to discuss it here, guys. Right, once you guys are completed this course, right, you guys can claim up to 4 years of experience. You guys can tell, right, in DevOps with AWS, you guys have 4 years of the experience. That much in-depth subject we are going to discuss it here. See, guys, how much huge content we are discussing. Content is very huge, guys. Very huge content we are going to discuss. Fine. Okay. Part 5, what we are going to discuss, guys? Real-time project we are going to discuss as part 5. Right? And after that, I am going to discuss Python scripting. What is Python? Right? How to write the loops, how to write the conditions, how to write the classes, how to create the objects, how to write the functions. Right? After that, we will talk how to use that scripting in our DevOps. We will discuss after that. Okay? Right? I'm going to spend 10 hours on this Python scripting. Guys, for Python scripting, I'm not going to disturb our regular sessions, guys. Weekends, I will discuss about the Python scripting. Okay? So next, interview guide and resume preparation. Interview guide and resume preparation. So this is our course content, guys. See, guys, how much huge content. I will share these notes, guys. Right. So next, guys, right, class details, course details, guys. Right, duration, guys. I'm not going to compromise content wise. I'm not going to compromise wise. Right, I will give in-depth knowledge on all these things, whatever I mentioned it here. So that's why it will take 3 months, guys. Minimum 3 months, guys. Minimum 3 months. Why? Because I need to discuss Linux, shell scripting, Python scripting, right? 20 plus AWS services, 15 plus DevOps tools, real-time projects, right? Resume preparation, right? Minimum 3 months is required, guys. Right? If any festivals are there, right? 10 days plus or minus also will be happen. Right? Duration is minimum 3 months, guys. Right? Daily class timings. Daily class timings. Right? It will start 9 a.m. guys. Sorry, 9 p.m. guys. It will start 9 p.m. Right? When it will end? Right? So maybe 10, 10:15 or 10:30. it will go up to 10:30 also. 10, 10:15, 10:30, right? In the middle, it will get complete, guys. Okay, minimum 1 hour 15 minutes minimum I will take. Minimum I will take 1 hour 15 minutes, right? It will go up to 10:30 also sometimes, guys, based on the topic. In the middle, we can't able to leave, right? So that's why I'm telling it will start at 9 p.m. It will go up to 10, 10:30, 10:30 it will go, guys. 10:15 it will go like that. Okay, guys, coming to class notes. Guys, you guys are not required to write any class notes. Just to focus on the subject what I am explaining it here. See, everything, guys, everything, whatever I am explaining to you guys, everything I will mention in the notepad like this. How I have prepared this notepad in front of you guys. Same way, whatever I am explaining, everything I will write in a notepad, guys. For you guys, I am preparing the notes. For you guys, I will prepare the notes, guys. You guys no need to write any notes. Right? I will prepare the notes for you, and once class is completed, I will share that notes, guys. In a notepad, whatever I am writing, I will share that notes. You guys are not required to write any running notes. Just to focus on the subject. Daily class notes will be provided. Right? Next, class recordings, guys. Class recordings. Right? With 3 months access, guys. This is not permanent, guys. Permanently, you guys won't get the access, and you guys can't able to download these records also. In online, you guys can able to watch. 3 months. With 3 months access, you guys will get the recordings also. With the 3 months access. With the 3 months access, you guys will get the class recordings. Okay. See, guys, this is the course details. Duration minimum 3 months, guys. Daily class timings, it will start 9 p.m. Right? Class notes, daily class notes will be provided. Class recordings, guys. 3 months. 3 months access, you guys will get the recordings, guys. These recordings are not downloadable. Right? We will share the link, guys. See, guys, here we are going to create one Telegram group. Telegram group we will create, right, for our communication purpose. For our communication purpose, we are going to create the Telegram group while practicing, guys. While practicing, if you guys face any issues, while practicing, right, take the screenshot and put it in this Telegram group. I will respond. I will respond for your questions, guys. For your issues, I will respond, guys. Guys, I am expecting from you guys, I am expecting only one thing, guys. Daily minimum 2 hours of practice must be required, guys. Subject wise, I will take care. I will try to inject 100%, guys. Right? Practice wise, you guys need to take care. You guys need to take care, guys. Right? Daily minimum 2 hours practice is required. While practicing, if you guys face any issue, just take the screenshot and put it in this Telegram group. Right? I will respond for that. Okay, and daily class notes, this class recording links, everything will be shareable in this Telegram group only. Everything we will share in this Telegram group only, guys. Okay. This is offline, online, guys, completely online, not offline. Right, once class is completed, we will upload the notes and we will send that class recording also. Okay, guys. So this is our agenda, guys. This is our agenda. Next 3 months, this is our plan of action. So now you guys can ask. If you guys have any questions, now you guys can ask. Fee details and job assistance, Kalyan will tell you. Kalyan will explain. Guys, for job wise, you guys no need to worry. Very good market is available for DevOps with AWS. Right. So easily you guys will get experience into 4 lakhs minimum. Experience into 4 lakhs. Suppose if you guys have 3 years of experience, 3 into 4, 12 lakhs minimum, guys. Minimum. That is minimum. Right. So maximum you guys can get 16, 17 lakhs also for 3 years. That is damn sure. Right, guys. Jobs wise, no issues. Right, very good market is available for DevOps with AWS. Right, next 15 to 20 years, right, there is no issue for the DevOps with AWS candidates. Very good market is available. Right, and one more thing, guys. Right, you guys have some confusion. AWS we need to learn, Azure we need to learn, GCP we need to learn. Right, among all these cloud providers, AWS is the number one. AWS is the number one, guys. If you know one cloud technology, remaining things are dead easy, guys. If you know AWS, learning Azure, GCP is not that much difficult. In Google only you can able to learn everything. Right, among all those cloud providers, AWS is the number one in the market. Why? Because 190 plus countries are using these AWS services. 190 plus countries are using. Guys, here don't think you guys are from technical background or non-technical background. Non-IT, mechanical, civil, right, normal, BCom, anyone can learn, guys. I'm here to inject in that way. Anyone can learn. Not only non-IT, even BCom students, right, mechanical, civil, anyone can able to attend for this course. You guys can do the certifications, guys. AWS certifications, you guys can do. Right, we have certifications, right? So like admin certifications are there, right? Those certifications you guys can complete, guys. Some of the people are written also. Some of the people. Expert level only. Experience level you guys can do, not the basic level, guys. Programming is very less. That too only in Python scripting only, that too 4 lines, 5 lines only. Here everything we are going to do through commands only. Everything we are going to do through commands only. Programming is very less, guys. Don't think about the programming. Mathematics are not required, guys. Not required. And here everything, Linux is the very important for our course. If you guys practice the Linux commands, nothing is there, guys. Very easy. Programming is very less, guys. I will take care, right? I will take care. No issue about the programming. Course timings, class timings, 9 p.m. it will start. 9 p.m. it will start. 9 p.m. it will start. Duration it will take minimum 3 months, guys. Right, plus or minus 10 days. Plus 10 days only, not minus. Plus 10 days only. Right, class will start at 9 p.m. Right, so 10:15 like that I will take. I will explain, guys. Networking, no issue, guys. Networking also, right? So there is no problem, guys. Here I will show, guys. Right, I will show. Right, in the network and security groups are available. There, what networks we required, how to enable those things, all those things we will discuss. Right, in the AWS we will discuss all those things, guys. Network and security groups is there. There we will discuss all those things. In AWS will come, guys. Networking and security groups, there we will discuss. Why? Because our missions and everything we are going to create in AWS only. Right, our missions, right, virtual missions, everything, we infrastructure, everything we are going to setting up in AWS only. So that's why networking also we need to take care there only. So which protocols, right, we need to enable on which ports, everything we will discuss it here. HTTP, HTTPS, SSH, what protocols we need to, based on the servers which we are using, we need to enable corresponding protocols and corresponding ports, guys. Right, all those things we will discuss, no issues. We have networking and security, right, there we will discuss all those things. Load balancing I mentioned, right? Load balancing I mentioned. Load balancing. Load balancing, auto scaling, lambdas, everything we will discuss. Anyone have any questions still? Guys, subject wise, no issue. 100% I will give. Just to focus and practice. From you guys, I'm expecting practice is required. Without practicing, it is very difficult to get the job. Just attending the course is not sufficient, guys. Practice also must be required. That's what I'm telling, right? After completing this course, you guys can tell, right? You guys, Jira we will discuss. Jira we will discuss. Nagios is the no one is not using, guys. Right? If based on the time permits, right? If required, I will take one session. Jira we will discuss, guys. I'm gonna ask her. Right, how good in AWS and DevOps. See, guys, after completing this course, you guys can tell, right, 4+ years of experience you guys have on AWS and DevOps, guys. You guys can claim up to 4+ years of experience on DevOps and AWS once this course is completed. Backup in the sense, backup means what? In AWS, you're asking backup. Backup means what? We have volumes, is there, right? In AWS, we will discuss volumes, guys. In EBS only, after creating the after creating the that placement assistance and everything, right? Karthik will explain that part, right, guys? Right, in our additional volumes is there, right? Here EBS is there. In AWS, EBS is available, right? In that EBS, right, the volumes we are creating. Inside the volumes, what we are doing? We are storing some data. I want to take the backup. For that, in EBS only, we are going to create snapshots. Snapshots are nothing but backup of the volumes. How to create the backup? How to create the snapshot? How to create volume from the snapshot? I have backup. From that backup, I want to create one more volume, right? How to do all those things, vice versa. Vice versa, how to do all those things, we will discuss it here, guys. Here we can take the backup also. Snapshots. We are going to discuss snapshot. By using snapshot, we are going to take the backup of the volumes. Anything else? Right. So if no questions, stopping here, guys. Right, we will share this notes, guys. Whatever I'm writing, I will prepare very neat and clear notes for you guys, and we will share these notes. Kalyan, people are asking fee details. Please take care of that. Right. So Python for DevOps engineers, Python not that much is required. Who is asking that question? Wait 1 minute. Right. Mentor. Right. Not that much is required. How much Python is required? I'm going to cover here. Right. Right. I'm going to cover here. No issues. So you no need to learn separately that Python. Parallelly, you no need to learn outside, guys. Here, weekends, I will take care of the Python sessions. How much is required? Everything I will discuss it here only. Linux I am discussing, right? At the beginning, Linux only I will start. Right, see, here, Linux and shell scripting, I am going to discuss at the beginning only, right? Why you guys will spend extra money to learn these things? Here only I am going to discuss Linux, AWS, Python scripting. See, guys, all the DevOps trainers can't able to teach Python. All the DevOps trainers, that same person can't able to teach Python, guys. But here I can able to teach Python also. So that's why I know how much Python is required. Why? Because see guys, Java batches I will take care, right? Python batches and DevOps with AWS. All these 3 batches I'm handling. So I can able to explain Python very clearly. Okay. Focus on this, guys. So don't waste the money. Don't waste the money, right? By learning other things. First, focus on this course content. Once you guys are got the job, right, then we can learn multiple things. Right? We need to learn, guys. We should have the knowledge on multiple technologies and multiple things. But first, we need to get into the companies. Get into the companies, guys. Once you guys join the companies, then you guys learn one by one, all those things. Some of the people are asking certifications. Right? Now, certifications are not required. Once you guys are joined in the companies, companies will sponsor you to do the certification. Companies are going to sponsor, guys. In projects, management, they will sponsor, guys. They will pay the money for you. You guys can do the certification. You guys no need to spend the money from your pocket. Companies will pay. Right? Once you guys have got the job, then you can learn multiple things. Right? Minimum 2 hours, I am telling. Minimum 2 hours. Right? Whatever we are discussing in the class, before coming to next session, you guys should finish the practice also on that, guys. And if you guys any issues at the time of practicing, don't wait till next session. Right? Take the screenshot and put it in the Telegram group. I will respond for that. Yes, we need to create, Karthik. We need to create the account. Why we are going to work in AWS only. Right? Almost everything we are going to work in AWS only. So we should have the account, guys. See, guys, for 1 year free tier account we will create. No problem. No problem, guys. We have the free tier account creation up to 1 year, that is free. Every month you will get 750 hours. Even 750 hours for free you will get, guys, every month. Up to 1 year that account is free. We are going to create, guys. Free tier accounts are available. We will create those free tier accounts. Any questions still? Any stop? Demos, 3 demos, guys. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow. 3 demos are available. Okay, fine, guys. Already 10:30 time. And I'm stopping here, guys. We will discuss tomorrow remaining things. We will connect tomorrow, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for attending this demo session. Right. So good night, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night, guys. We will connect tomorrow.